Hey, Greg, already in here. Good on you, man. Everybody's still over in Vahagan's live stream that he did tonight, so I think they're still over there. But anyway, they'll wrap it up, and then I guess people will begin to migrate over here. So good to see we have some folks in here already. And quick admin note again: next Saturday night, I'm attending a wedding. Not by choice, but anyway, I'm attending a wedding. So the live stream next week for the weekend will be on Friday night. Friday night, same time, same bat channel, and all that good stuff, but Friday night instead of Saturday night. So that'll be the 27th of May. All right, we got that out of the way. Let's see who we got. Mozman, good to see you, man. Bass Angler 73. Hello. I like the name there. Luke, good to see you. Thanks for the sub, man. Roy, good to see you from down under. And Thomas Beck's from Switzerland. Good to see you in here, sir. All right. So for those that haven't followed and don't know what we do here, it's really a free for all. Once we get going, I come up with a topic, but yet that seems to kind of get thrown by the side, and then we go into what you guys want to discuss. So you're welcome. You are part of the crowd. You are part of the channel. So feel free to drop your comments, opinions, and everything else in the chat, and we'll do our best to respond to it. Looks like Jeffrey's here. Mr. Jeffrey, good to see you, buddy.
Hello, hello. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. And here's Mr. Vahagan.
What's up? What's up?
What's up,
Hello.
buddy? Mozman, Nikon sent an email out today to learn and explore. Yeah, I did see that. How to photograph the Manhattan hinge. Pretty timely. Maybe they're listening. I still say they are. I wish they'd drop in and say hello. All right, man.
What's new, boys?
I got to turn my volume up here. Let's see. All right. Bass Angler 73, man. Thanks for subbing. Appreciate that. And again, I like the name. Big fisherman here. Well, I haven't for years now, but used to fish all the time. Jet Photo says 8K video is what bothers me the most. Just people talking about it or what, Jet? There's a lot of things that are getting on my nerves, that's for sure. Ronald Pollard. How you doing, Mr. Pollard? You want to see a portfolio, go check out Ronald Pollard's portfolio, man. He's the real deal. He's out there doing it, putting the Z9 to work. David Stewart, good evening. What bothers me the most is that photographic influencers, most of the vehicle that photographic influencers drive. I don't care about camera brand. Okay. Well, I was going to say we don't either. I mean, obviously I do. I'm a Nikon shooter, but that's the brand I chose. But I don't care what anybody else shoots. They can shoot whatever they want and still come in here and talk with us and everything else. But yeah, I think brand wars and everything else are how they stay alive or relevant on YouTube. And it definitely brings in clicks, no doubt about it. And we'll talk about that more.
What's going on, guys? Is my mic working?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you sound good. How's the weather out there?
It's not great. It's not great. Cloudy today, and
We're just getting to that hot and humid time of year now.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, the 8K thing, useless unless you have a powerhouse PC, gobs of storage, 4K is more than enough. I agree with you right now, Jet. I guess some people are using it actually just for the crop factor or to play with it. But yeah, it's going to eat up a lot of storage, and it definitely eats up a lot of power trying to edit 8K, no doubt about it. Nick Hay from Down Under. Are you friends of Roy? Or you guys live miles and miles apart? But good to see you in here, Nick. You're welcome to join us any night. Just the brand thing bugs me too. I don't give a rat's butt brand of camera someone else shoots. It's just not important at all. Agree with you, Jeff. Agree with you. You guys chime in here too, Vahagan, Jeffrey.
I just like to see people getting out and shooting instead of sitting at home. I don't care what they shoot. Just get out and do something. Get out, get some fresh air, do something.
Yeah. What do you guys think about this comment? The cost of the camera is up because of 8K. I don't know how we get around it, Jet, because marketing is big now, and you have to stay relevant within the market. I don't think every camera Nikon builds has to have 8K, but they definitely have to have a response to the 8K and all the other brands. That's just one of the ways they're selling cameras right now. And Nikon gets a bad rap, as somebody's already said in here, when it comes to influencers anyway. That's the last thing we need, is talking about Nikon's the only brand that doesn't have 8K. Don't buy it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's sad is that the brands are trying to leapfrog each other so much now. With one guy adds one little widget, somebody else adds another widget. You haven't even had a chance to learn the widgets you already have. I mean, they're going so fast that you haven't even had a chance to learn the camera that you bought 6 months ago. And then they're already trying to make it out like, well, that camera that's 6 months old isn't any good anymore. Now you got to buy this one.
Yeah.
It's they got to slow down a little bit and let people absorb what's out there now and get fluent with what's out there now.
I think they just have to figure out how to market. If they slow down, they're gone. You're no longer relevant. I don't know how to get around that. It's just like telling the younger generation they need to learn how to shoot better, not worry about all the gadgets. Well, that's not marketing. That's not selling anything, because the younger generation, their history retention goes back about 5 years, and that's it.
Well, the only problem is if you went and say bought an A1 or a Z9 or an R5, and you're not a professional photographer, you don't have income coming in, and all these new widgets come out, and the camera that comes out 6 months later is being advertised as being so much better. Those people don't have the money to just go and dump and run and just buy the next one. So, I mean, most people don't have that kind of cash anyway.
Well, you're right. But if you're stuck with your whatever current camera, that's one thing. But if you can afford it, I don't see a problem with it being available to buy it. But, I don't know that they've gone crazy yet. I used to say that Sony had, because there were so many new models dropping so quickly. However, it seems to have slowed down over there as well. So, that may slow down a bit, but I still complain about Nikon. They still need the rival to the R5, A7 IV, A7 III, A7S3, S3 or 3. I don't know.
Hey, Thomas. He said, "What's your favorite drummer?" Neil Peart. So, hey, Chuck, what did you think of the pre-party?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool, man.
But you weren't serving any snacks and you had no drinks.
Yeah, I did right here.
Here you go. My old D500 still gets the job done. I hear you, Bass Angler. I still have my D500. However, I was talking to Vahagan today. That may change here before long. I think it's time to start liquidating some of the F-mount stuff, cameras and glass. That's the only way I can afford to move up, guys. I have to sell to buy.
Oh, I like Alex.
Vic says, what aggravates me on YouTube, social media. Just the question, it's of social media, I guess. So we've got so many, and we talked about this earlier today, Vahagan and I, we've got so many influencers out there, and everybody's doing their thing. And, Nikon seems to be the butt of all jokes. I know we've harped on that over and over and over. I continue to talk about it. I don't know how to get past it other than for Nikon to do something to welcome in new blood. Nikon sent me a link to a video shoot. Young guys, they produced a music video. This was, I think it was over in Sweden. I'm not sure, but they did a great job showing what the Z9's video capabilities are, and we need more of that out there. So, how do you guys feel about that? Do you think that enough of the Nikon shooters show what the cameras are capable of? Do a search on YouTube for Nikon content. It's a whole lot less than Sony or Canon. So we're not sharing enough, guys, and I'm guilty of that as well.
That's interesting.
Good question.
According to Jared, we're all old wearing pacemakers, and we're all going to croak if we buy the 400.
Yeah, what a
That was such a dip, you know what thing to say. I just I lost my hair over it.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of people they like him, but why did Nikon give him the time of day, man?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know that anybody can answer that. Why would you give somebody a camera or something early to review, knowing that they're going to drive people away from its sales? Doesn't make sense to me. Again, I'm back to what's Nikon thinking, and I'm a Nikon shooter.
Yeah. Did you guys see
he has a lot of influence, so I guess that's what it comes down to. He's got a lot of followers, and I do watch his channel once in a while, but I can only handle it once in a while. I can't watch it all the time. Too much drama.
So Mozman's answering the question, what's the best way to sell a camera or sell gear? I agree with Marketplace is nice because it makes it a whole lot easier and safer to do that. No doubt about it. Hang on a second, guys. Pick it up, fellers.
I had good luck with OfferUp and Craigslist. You know, local buyers.
Yeah. I
met a few people while selling. Remember Lavina? I had her on my show.
Yep.
I met her through OfferUp.
Yeah, I ended up comparing KEH to B&H and Adorama and doing a comparison on, what they were going to offer me for what I had, and then calculated, whether I wanted to go, a different route. And I said, just for the lack of harassment and the ease of doing it, I ended up going through KEH, and I did pretty good.
Yeah, but they want to make the money. You know what I mean? That little 1/3 that you can make if you list it yourself. I know you probably don't want to deal with people, but if you have patience, just list it yourself.
I am Hassan's talking about. He made a statement earlier talking about how he gets tired of people talking about if old cameras are still relevant, and so I guess he gave us a glimpse of what he's talking about here. Today, we're going to look at the Nikon D850. Is it still relevant in 2021 or 22? Yes, it is. But it's just funny how you're right. But now, I was talking to Vahagan about this as well today. A lot of the stuff that people are doing out there, think about this, guys. If you're running a YouTube channel, think about right now, if you're going to post a video, just one video a week, that's 52 videos you have to do. Sit down and write down a list of all the videos you're going to do in 52 weeks. And you're going to run out of ideas at about week 3. So what do? What's the easiest thing to do? To use clickbait and bash a camera brand. And I don't think that most of them hate the brand. I really don't. I think that it's just their opportunity to fill the queue with another video.
You know what, though? What goes around comes around, because I use their names to clickbait my videos just so I could get views. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I use their names to get the viewership up sometimes.
Yep.
If they
I
don't
don't
like
check
it,
them either. Yep.
if they don't like it, hey, what about you clickbaiting every week? At least
So
my title is somewhat true.
yeah.
Why are you using his name to name drop? I'm like, why not? True.
We have a mystery guest.
Why are you using his name to name drop? I'm like, why not?
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's obvious the channel,
We have a mystery guest.
most successful channels are the ones that
Trying to make this work.
camera gear. Well, I mean, the thing is,
Yeah,
it's obvious the channel.
we have your audio, but we don't have video yet. And you're going to have to turn the sound down on the show that's playing in the background.
Hey, Ron, I got your message, man. When I got it, it was really late, so I didn't really want to like call you then. But I'll send you the
show that's playing in the background.
Okay.
Hey, Ron, I got your message, man. Oh yeah, you gotta mute the audio.
Yeah, Johnny did. And that's his thing, and more power to him.
You know what the title of your show tonight, Chuck, and one thing that kind of I don't know made me wince a little bit is Bayou Josh. I mean, I talk to him once in a while, and I love the guy. He's a great guy. He's a great photographer. He's a great storyteller. I mean, I watch his stuff every Friday. It's very relaxing, and upfront guy, and very honest in his opinions and everything. And but he did an interview. I caught an interview that he did with a guy that goes by Burger, Jeremy
Yes.
Nepp, Neipp.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, I never saw an interviewer that was so set on trying to get him to say that Sony was so much better than Nikon.
Yes.
He had a narrative.
He was just trying to do it and do it and do it. And I give Josh all the credit in the world for just sticking to his guns and saying,
he had a narrative.
Nikon's a great camera, man. I don't have a problem with Nikon. I'm traveling. I wanted a 600 f4. I wanted it now. I didn't want to wait, blah, 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 whatever. And he made his decision. That's his choice. I'm fine with it. But this guy just kept trying to get him to say, do you regret that you bought the Nikon stuff? Did you lose a lot of money selling it to switch over? And I'm just sitting in my chair shaking my head saying, I would have just hung up on the guy. And apparently they're friends with each other or whatever, but I would have freaking hung up. I would have hung up.
So that guy's extremely happy because welcome back, Ron. There you are.
I'm assuming he's a Sony shooter and he was just thrilled that Josh jumped ship.
Yes, because he talked to Josh before Josh made the decision to go to Sony. He was talking to him quite a bit. He had him on his show before. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Man, he just made that guy's day when he went to Sony, because you're absolutely right. The guy was doing everything he could to pull Sony out of Josh and talk about how much greater it was, and to bash Nikon. He wanted him to bash Nikon, but I'll give Josh credit. He did not do that.
No, he did not. He's a class guy. He really is. He's a class guy. I hope he's watching tonight. You get 2 thumbs up, Josh, from me anyway.
Yep.
Hey, what's up, Ron? What's up, Ronald?
Hear me?
Hey, yeah, real quick though. The guy, Bird, what was his name? Burger?
Yeah.
He's like, so you're saying that Sony is a better camera than Nikon, huh? It's like, come on, man. Really, man? Dude, man.
You guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what's going on, Mr. Ronald?
Yeah. Guys, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, man. I'm blessed. I'm good. But Hagen, I'm sorry about Friday night, brother. I was so tired, man.
No, don't worry about it.
I photographed the Iroquois steeplechase, in Nashville, and I'll be out your way in 9 days, Vahagan. I'll be in Los Angeles, Southern California for about a week.
Nice.
I'll be shooting some concerts, and then I'll be doing some portraiture, and then I come back here and I go to New York. So it's gonna be a tight schedule. My son's coming with me, which is for me the greatest thrill, as you can understand, to have my son with me, who Chuck is learning video. He's doing video.
Yes, I know that, and I think it's great. You need to keep encouraging him.
He's amazing with it. He's growing with it quite a bit. But guys, Jeffrey, how you doing this evening, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, man.
You're looking good. You're looking like you're ready to go out there and shoot for 20 hours straight. I think
We need to get you some lighting. You're in silhouette.
Huh?
We need to get you some lighting. You're in silhouette.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Yeah, that kind of ifed me too, that interview. I don't know if Ronald got to see it.
Which interview?
The one with Josh and
Bird Burger and Josh. Bayou Josh and Bird Burger interviewing and being very happy that Josh is no longer shooting Nikon, obviously, by the way that interview was going.
I saw it, and I will say this. One of the things that irritates me about YouTube today with the photography thing, I don't mind Nikon being criticized. What I mind is when you don't criticize equally the other brands.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I don't think any of them are perfect. That's number one. Criticize the other brands as well. Am I still silhouetted, guys, or am I okay?
No, you're silhouetted.
Okay, hold up. I'm gonna move this light.
All right.
Yeah, you need some front lighting.
yeah, he makes a point. I think a lot of people were miffed about how he went about doing it. I think I know Mosman had some choice words, and but it just a lot of people. The thing is with YouTube,
You're good.
a lot of people, they follow you, they like you, and they buy cameras because of you. You know what I mean? Because they see what you're doing and they go, shit, let me go buy a Z9, you know? And then all of a sudden you're not using it anymore. It's like, shit, what do I do with my camera now? That it means that the Nikon Z9 is not good if you switched.
Well, and the truth be told, for me, and I respect where Chuck is coming from, but for me, Chuck, my Z7 II, I was shooting that for high school basketball games in Athens, Alabama. The keeper rate was crazy. The quality, I did dumb it down to 25 megapixels. I wasn't trying to code through 45 megapixels. They didn't pay that kind of money.
You just didn't want to buy the server that you needed in the house to process it.
Oh man, I'm married, man. My wife would that's not gonna happen.
And be like,
yeah, exactly. So I dumbed that thing down to 25 megapixels and said, okay, I'm good to go. What gets me is that when they criticize, they talk about the 20 frames a second versus 30 frames per second. Let me use that as an example. That 20 frames a second is at 14-bit.
Yeah.
That 30 frames on the A1 is at what? 12.5 bit or whatever it is.
Yep.
plus there's a lot of conditions that you have to meet to even be able to shoot the 30.
And
but they don't talk about that.
That's what Mr. Ishii was hitting what's that Tony and Chelsea about. That's where he is. He was calling them.
We got the echo, John.
Sorry. Rock and roll.
My problem is when you don't hold other brands as accountable.
Okay.
That's why I feel like
how's that?
Go ahead, Ron. We'll listen, John.
Yeah, that's why I feel like there is such a bias and a plan against Nikon, because you will not cover all the flaws, the issues. You cannot make me believe at this point in time, I've just used the Sony A1. The colors are not even okay, they're good, but they're not like Nikon.
Right.
I'm still tripping off.
So this is the thing. Can we just be, we're all subjective about what we, the brand we pick. It doesn't mean it's better. It means I like it better. And that's where everything gets lost. That never comes up in a conversation. It's always about how bad, one or the other is. And here for the last few years, it's been Nikon. It's been the butt of all jokes. Look at the comment here from Jet Photo. He's a Sony shooter. He talks about it. The Nikon bashing did play a small part in my switching brands again.
Mm-hmm.
Some things are just fact, though. I mean, you read any reviews by any well-known source. Let's just leave it at that. And compact, the CFE Type B cards are cheaper, more storage, are better if you're a high-end video shooter than what you're going to get in the A1. Does anybody talk about it? Does anybody bash Sony because they use the Type A cards?
No.
A casual mention once in a while, but it's like their mouth is zipped shut,
Yeah.
So any little thing where Nikon may have an edge and Sony has its edges in its places and Canon has its edges in places, but you know what? You never hear a peep out of anything bad about anybody else.
There we go. What happened?
Rock and roll.
Bahaga's got that voice that echoes 3 or 4 times and sounds so good.
Hey, I appreciate all you guys throwing in there whatever brand you're shooting, saying it's best. That's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that. We could all do that about any brand that we have. It's when we start bashing every other brand, that's when I think we take it too far. My opinion.
No. I think we had a problem. We have a message here. What was it the question about Josh? Henry Doyle. What does it say? Josh doesn't have to please anyone. It's his life, and if he did it, the only problem we had, or I had, was that's fine. He switched brands, but there was comments in one of his videos where people were like, "Well, Nikon sucks. This and that," and he would go ahead and heart that comment. You see what I'm saying? You see where the problem lies? That's where the problem lies.
I said this earlier, Vahagan, Jeffrey, John. I said,
Testing.
if I were a bird, no disrespect, what I'm about to say, no disrespect. If I were a birder, maybe I'd understand a little bit more, be more sensitive.
Testing.
But dude is not Joe
Can you hear me?
McNally. Dude is not the people that inspire me. Those people influence me. That's me. But I just finished shooting steeplechase in Nashville. You can't make me believe those that autofocus is not as impactful as everybody.
I agree with you.
So my point is, I said, maybe, and you and I talked about this, Chuck. Let's talk to other people in other genres of work, because that's birding. How big is that compared to portraits?
No, you're absolutely right. This is why I go back to it's subjective to each individual shooter. Okay. And I'm glad you said that, because I don't have a bit of trouble with the Z9 when it comes to planes, trains, automobiles, and people. Okay. It's fantastic. But I will say that I've had some struggle with small birds. Okay. Now, Josh did say in that interview, he had the same issue with the A1. Okay. So at least he brought that up. But let's just say, for sake of the discussion here, that the A1 is ever so slightly better at bird photography. Okay. That is a possibility. And just like you said, Ron, and everybody sitting here, none of us are birders except for Jeffrey, but it's static birds and they're big birds. But when you start shooting the little birds, I was having trouble as well. But I told everybody when I actually said that after I got the Z9 that I have an acquaintance that has a Sony A1, and he told me all cameras struggle with it. And I took him for his word. And now I've got Josh backing that up because in that interview, he mentioned it. But if for whatever reason you think it helps you out, then there's nothing wrong with you saying, I'm going to go to that brand. There's nothing wrong with that. And he had three things. One, he's impatient. He wanted his 600 now. Okay. And I want the Z8 now. So I'm a petulant child. At least that's what somebody told me in a comment. Okay. I can live with that. I guess he thought I wanted the Z8 personally. No, I want it for Nikon. But anyway, so he's impatient and wanted his 600 and Nikon wouldn't talk to him. He's not the first that told me that. There are some people, for whatever reason, Nikon does not communicate with, or they don't get back to them, or they're too busy, or whatever. I don't know. I don't have an answer for why. Ron, you're different. They talk to you.
Rock and roll.
No echo. Damn.
So anyway, I'm glad you brought that up. So the three things were: one, he's impatient, wanted his 600. Two, and he admitted that. Two, he felt that the A1 or feels that the A1 is better at AF for birds. It tracks better. Okay. I can't shoot him out of the water for that because I don't have an A1 and I'm not renting one to test that theory. Well, the third thing is video, and he's right about that as well.
Okay,
but if you want what he wants for video capabilities, you got to buy a Z9 and use it for your video, your B-roll.
Well, go ahead and put up Mozman's comment though.
Where's Mozman's comment?
Right there.
Right there.
To Henry Doyle.
Is this where we're at?
No.
No, the one below Charles Davis's comment. Like,
Boss man. Speak on it, brother.
See, there you go, Chuck. That's where the problem is. I have no problem with him switching, using another brand. It's just the way he went about doing it.
I'm not seeing it, Vahog, and I wish I could. I wish I could see it through everybody else's eyes. And I'm not, I'm not in here to take up for him because, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread and we're great buddies. We're not. We're acquaintances here on YouTube. But I'm still trying to wrap my head around how he owed anybody anything, any whatever to, allegiance to Nikon for us or.
No, he didn't know anybody an explanation. I mean, it took
I don't believe it.
Yeah, it took him a kind of some brass ones to put himself out there because he knew he was going to get bashed by some people right
of course,
away.
because we did the fanboyism thing the other day, brand loyalty and fanboyism, and fanboys are going to just go berserk because he switched. I don't like it. I like people promoting Nikon, but he switched. So what? Big deal. And, everybody wants to attack him now as if he's done something illegal or wrong or whatever.
No,
we're not attacking anybody. We're not saying that. We're saying that, fine, switch. Say, guys, I prefer the Sony system better. And, I'm tired of waiting. But don't, heart the comments that bash Nikon. Why would you do that?
What comments did he bash Nikon? Go ahead, Ron. Jump in there.
Josh, no, I'm Mr. Ishii. Go ahead on, Mr. Ishii.
I hear you got a little crackling going on in your audio there.
Me?
Yes, sir.
I mean, listen to us. We act like it's our uncle's company, but you know what I mean? Like, to each his own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's where I'm at, Vaughan. That's why I don't get why everybody's still hung up on Josh, is a traitor and everything else. Again, I guess it just aggravates me that are we going to become Sony fanboys? Like Sony fanboys? and start doing the same thing, this kind of crap,
How is that?
that, Nikon can do no wrong. Nikon's perfect, and we don't want anybody, saying anything bad about Nikon. Now, I hear we got feedback again.
I think you got to mute your YouTube feed.
Yes. You can't have YouTube audio running in the background. You can have it up and running, but no audio from the channel.
Okay, I have it all turned off. So, am I giving feedback?
You're fine, Ron.
You're
No,
fine.
You're good, Ron.
Okay.
It
I
may
have a
be
question
John.
for Mr. Ishii.
I think it's John. John's
I
on.
think he's fixing his audio. He's gone to get his lovely wife.
Yeah, his wife will fix it for him.
Yes, she will. And what a fantastic photographer she is.
Yeah, she is. May I ask a question now, Chuck?
Sure.
Vahagan, Jeffrey, Chuck, Mr. Ishii, John. I've asked this question many times over. What is it that I'm missing? I don't blame anyone for switching. If they want to switch, fine. I remember when Sony sent me not one, not two, but 3 cameras and gave me 4 or 5 days to play with them to come over, because the Sony rep out of Kentucky sent them to me. And I had them. I checked them out. They were cool. It was nice. I was D5 it at the time. It wasn't enough for me to pull over. I was like, okay, the mirrorless. But help me understand. What is it about the timing that I'm missing, guys? I don't get. And here's what I mean by timing. What's the impatience? Nikon went into mirrorless 2018 full frame mirrorless. It's 2022. That's 4 years. What am I missing about why people want Nikon to be caught up to where Sony is, when Sony started in 2013? Had a 5 or 6 year.
Yeah, head start. Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I mean, Josh
I'm trying to wrap my mind around what am I missing with what is the impatience in this society today? Because you saw what Nikon has done with DSLRs. You knew what Nikon did with SLRs. You know that they've poked the bears. Both Canon and Nikon now are fully engaged in mirrorless now, and it's only going to get better. And in 4 years, you got a Z9, and I don't care what any fanboy says, that Z9 is a butt kicker with Sony or Canon or anybody. That I was shooting with the R3 in Nashville, and some guy had the A1, blew them off the map. I just haven't shown the photos yet because, you got to work with all these entities. But it was not even close, man. And so I'm trying to find out, what am I missing on this timing thing, guys? That's my question.
Well,
somebody help me with that.
With Josh's comments.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jeff. I'm not talking about Josh at all. I wasn't
Okay, just in general.
Josh can go on and run his race. I'm good with Josh.
Yeah.
Okay, let me throw my 10 cents worth in, and you guys take it from there. I want the company to be the best company out there, because that's what provides all the great cameras and everything for us. I don't want to wait around and let them continue to lose market share and talk about how they can't afford to produce anything else because they're so small or whatever. I think that they've had enough time, and I think that it's just typical Nikon. Ron, you know Nikon. You know it better than me and everybody else in here. You've been with them so long. And Nikon is stodgy. They're slow. They don't communicate, and they do not have a marketing plan. I'll still say that. Okay, that's what I want them to fix, and then get the cameras out to us. I want to see them succeed where other camera manufacturers are succeeding. Yes, we can't compare it to Sony because Sony's been doing this for a while, long before Canon and Nikon. I agree with you that the Z9 is the greatest thing out there right now, okay? However, it's going to be short-lived. If Nikon doesn't have something to fall back on, because half their shooters right now are waiting for a smaller model camera that does what the Z9 does. There's no other camera in Nikon's lineup that has what the Z9 has in it. And I mean, even close, not being an exact copy. Canon has that from the flagship down. Sony has it from the flagship down, and Nikon needs to do it. That's my gripe. Okay. So if I'm being a petulant child, maybe I am. I want it for Nikon. I don't care. I'm not going to get the Z8 if that's what it is immediately. Would I like to have one? Yes, but I want to see Nikon in there where all the younger generation coming up can aspire to something other than having to buy a flagship. And I know Nikon's not going to leave it that way. Flagship or nothing, guys. Here's your choice.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
What's going on, Photomic? No, hey, Touch Live Studios. Congratulations, brother. 1,000 subs, baby.
Wow.
Good job.
Wow.
So I was asking that question from a historical standpoint, Chuck, and that's why I wanted to ask you, Mr. Ishii, what am I missing? What is the rush? Because it's only been 4 years. I know there was a V1, but Nikon just introduced the full frame mirrorless in 2018. Help me understand what am I missing in terms of the timing. And I agree with you, Chuck. Something needs to happen in a smaller body. I'm completely convinced of that. I am.
Yeah, I mean,
I can you hear me?
Yes.
yes. Yeah.
Oh. I don't think there's a real rush, but in time they'll come up with more and more products. I mean, like last week, I shot quite a bit with the Z9, and it was I just nailed it. It was pretty amazing. I went to some island, especially that 7200. It oh my God, it's just a killer. Correct. So if they come out with a Z8 or 7 or whatever, I mean, because I paired my Z9 with my Z6, and it's just a perfect companion.
Hey, John.
So, yeah.
Your mic sounds excellent.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those road mics.
Yeah, I can tell.
Hey, congratulations, Vaughan. Hey, your pictures the other day that you posted were amazing.
Oh, thanks, man.
I mean, especially the detailed pictures. I really enjoy in your lighting, and it really brought out the true essence of the
I got
wedding.
so much in my log. Those aren't even the best stuff. I just happen to have those on my desktop, but I gotta find them. I got like 30 hard drives. Like a full of wedding photos,
Yeah.
But hey,
I'm
are you
gonna
gonna
go pick up my 100, 400.
Are you gonna play guitar for us today or what?
Well, I don't have it plugged in.
Hey man, I was watching the Ken Wheeler. Oh yeah, that guy.
Ken Wheeler.
No, keep going. Sorry to interrupt you.
No. Let's talk about Ken.
Who was the guy? Yeah, somebody mentioned Eddie Van Halen. Look, he's got an Eddie Van Halen guitar.
Some of us know what that is.
Hey, no, my thing with Josh, and I'll just put it to bed, is good on him. I wish him the best of luck. It really doesn't matter what equipment you use. They're all great nowadays. But like Mozman was saying, that's the only issue I had was he was kind of taking shots at people's comments with Nikon. That's it.
Well, I think
Go ahead, Mr. Jeff.
well, I mean, I agree with the, in terms of, I mean, Chuck, you and I, we've been talking for months, it seems like, and because it's important that, I realized that Nikon was late to the game. I have a Z9. I love the Z9, and it still has a few bugs that has to get ironed out. But it's a great camera, and it'll get better and better. Every firmware version they kick out, it's going to keep getting better. But the biggest complaint, and whether you want to say it's fair or not, those who want to be critical of another brand, they're going to say Sony's autofocus is, whether it's an A7R3 or an A1, the autofocus is pretty darn close between both of them. Whereas the Z9 outperforms everything else that Nikon has underneath it.
Yeah.
And Canon's, all their autofocus capabilities are pretty much equal, whether it be at the top or down in their mid-range cameras. And Nikon isn't there yet. And if you're not shooting birds or sports, it don't matter a hill of beans. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. But the problem is,
it doesn't. But gentlemen, you got to convince the market of that. You're saying it, but that doesn't resonate with everybody out there. They don't care. They want it.
Talking heads, they're going to focus on the fact that it isn't quite as good as the other guys, and Nikon's got to come out with that Z8, Z7 III, whatever.
Jeff,
they got to do it soon.
Say, Jeff, can I just make a comment on that? What you just said. I have a friend from San Francisco who just arrived the other day to go bird shooting, and he has both systems, a Canon A1, and he came here to Malaysia to pick up his Z9. And he was telling me, because he went out birding for a few days out in the jungle. And I asked him, I says, how does all this settings work on the Z9? And he goes, here's the deal. The Z9 is a computer more than a camera. All right. So when he shoots, and he shoots like bazillion pictures of birds, he says, what you do is that in the settings, wide area, small, 3D, blah, 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 each one of those settings are a specific for a certain type of birding, right? Birds in flight, birds standing around, birds going around the tree and branches. So you as a birder who have years experience know and set the parameters for the focusing for those particular birds in what they do in their environment and the size of it. So when you put it in the bank, you can choose, okay, the bird is in flight. Okay, bang, I'll take 3D or wide area or whatever. If the bird is small and hides behind the branches and whatnot, then he chooses the 3D one. So he says it's very, very specific. Otherwise, you're just jumping around to all these settings and you don't know what the hell they do. And then you get yourself all confused.
Well, I mean, that's how I'm set up. That's how I'm set up. I've got, I know if I got a small bird with a lot of branches around it, I've got my function button on my lens actually programmed for single point. And I use single point autofocus on the small bird. Okay, and it'll nail it 99% of the time. If I got a large bird that's static, I could pretty much use whatever I want. If I got a bird in flight, I'm going to use small area large, and I'm going to switch to 3D, as it gets closer. So I have all that in, but then some people will say, and I don't know, I don't shoot the other brands, so I can't really say other people are lying because I don't shoot the other brands.
So and they say, on his Sony A1, it's the setup is entirely different.
Yeah, well, some people will say the other brands, they could pick one mode and it's good 75% of the time for the birds. Now, I don't know if that's true or not because I have no way of knowing. I don't have the money to go out and buy an A1 and
exactly.
An R5,
Well, this guy's right.
I can't do it.
So unless you have two systems and sit there and can compare, which is that's big money, right?
Yeah.
I have to agree with
he can come to a specific decision.
Yeah, I have to agree with SidSense. The comment made a lot of sense. Since when do we judge everything by birds?
Since the announcement of the Z9.
Well,
Well, yeah, it's not fair.
No, but what's the
because
percentage,
It really isn't
fellas? Come
fair
on.
because
I don't.
what's the
I
bird
you know
photography community?
it doesn't
What
matter. We can
percent?
argue all day long, but it became an issue during the announcement. That's the only question out there, even from Nikon shooters. That's why we're getting super telephoto lenses out the Yang now.
But that's for wildlife too, though. That's for
Yes.
wildlife, sports.
Yes.
That's
Don't
and
ask
that's
me
why I asked.
because
That's why I
birding
was
was the
asking what's
most
the
difficult subject to
percentage.
shoot. And
Well,
for
you
some
know, I'm
reason
not
that
going to go
became
out
the
into
capstone too. You know, the worth of a camera, camera's autofocus. Birding became the standard. I'm not saying I said it. I'm just saying that every question was about birding. I got a video on it asking, check my live streams. Is birding the only thing we rate a camera by, or is that all we have out here in the community, or birders? Because that seemed to rule the roost on all conversations.
Well, it must be the majority, Chuck. I mean,
You would
that's the
think,
way I
wouldn't
see it.
you?
I mean, well, there ain't, you know, you don't go to Montana and start shooting lions and giraffes because there ain't any,
Right.
you know. So
And
you shoot your sparrows or
Well.
the flying rats, and you know, or the flying rats
Now,
in your city.
Say it, Photo Me Ike. Say it, Photo Me Ike. Tell the truth. Tell the truth, Photo Me Ike.
yeah.
Yeah, but for humans and sports, that Z9 is great. It's excellent.
Birds,
That's fantastic.
planes, trains, automobiles, people, horses, and bears, and everything else. Fantastic. Great. Jamming, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're only going to get that if you buy the flagship. There's nothing else in the lineup yet that can do what the Z9 does. That's why they need to get going quick.
Well, they need at least one more model that's in that $3,500 price bucket.
Yes. And that's exactly what I'm talking about.
And then everybody will shut up. Really.
You know what? You would have a whole lot more. There would be a whole lot more Z9s delivered. Actually, they'd probably cover most of the people that ordered one if it wasn't $5,500 also. If it was $6,500, it would be a different story right now.
I think there's an elephant in the room that we're not. The toxic culture that was implemented, and I'm gonna say it, by Sony, and the bashing that took place is what Nikon is also overcoming. And I agree with some of the comments in here when they're talking about Nikon's arrogance and being late. Hassan talked about Nikon being late to the party or their arrogance and that kind of thing. I can hear some of that, but I also believe that this gotcha toxic community that Matt Granger talked about was very real. And that's why I said the question for tonight was, what aggravates you about the YouTube photography? Because they will not hype on the problems of Sony like they will the problems of Nikon.
I agree.
Or even Canon. Yeah. They will bypass all of the issues with those cameras. They even bypass the overheating stuff. And that was prodigious. That was large. But they will bypass that and they will bypass those green colors or that greenish tint and will not address the other weaknesses that are in that system. After the 8 years, I think, Jeffrey, the 5-year head start they had, they're still behind on things that nobody will talk about.
Yeah.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Ron, since you're on that subject, all right. The other day, Chelsea Northrup, right? I don't know why, but I committed I don't know why.
I saw you.
I whacked the button. I whacked that button. And I says, all right, let's listen to this. So I listened to her, and she's babbling away, right? And she's, oh, it's so heavy in this, you know, the battery grip. So here she is, takes the beautiful Z9, and she shoots like this for a vertical. And I go, what the hey, right? Hello, it's got $1 million battery grip, so you go like this, not like this, right? And then she complains, right? So I wrote, yeah, well, you know, the whole idea is to be able to, you know, shoot like this, right, with a vertical grip.
Yeah,
and I said to Sony, you have to go buy it, and of course, I couldn't believe it. Mr. Tony there, Mr. Tony, man, within 5 minutes, he gets back to me. He says, well, that's the beauty of it, is it doesn't have a grip and you can get it as an option. Well, you
Yeah.
failed to mention that you got to pay, you got to pay almost
Exactly.
$400 for this stupid thing.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
and the extra battery, right? So I go to my Sony dealer, to my camera shop. I said, hey, this Sony A1, in order for it to shoot 30 frames per second, what do you got to do? He says, number one, you got to have the battery grip. You got to have more powerful battery. You got to have, what do you call those, CFA cards that are really high speed. The downside is its buffer is very small.
Yep.
There you go. Which
It's
they
funny.
failed
Yes.
to even mention.
Yeah, it's funny because
Hence,
I left
my
a
point.
comment on that same video and he ignored mine.
Oh, you did?
He's still.
I gotta
he's
look
still-
for
he's, He's still butthurt.
Well, you know what's funny is Steve Perry shot Nikon. Well, he has a Z9 now too, but he shot Nikon. Then he got an A1, and he flat out, and he writes books about autofocus technology of the Z cameras and the DSLRs on the Nikon side and the Sony. I think he's coming out with a book on Sony if he hasn't already. But the point is, even he said, I don't shoot 30 frames per second on the Sony. I shoot 20. Everybody was bashing Nikon because they only shot 20 and said, oh, well, Sony does 30. Well, he says, here he is. He's a professional bird photographer. And he says, there's too many restrictions. I don't shoot the 30. I shoot 20.
Yeah.
So it's like, enough said. As Stan Lee used to say in the comics, enough said.
Look at what
Yeah, I
Long
remember
Rider. Look
that.
at Long
Said.
Rider. Look at the Long Rider comments, guys.
The
What
one
he
I
said,
just
what
had up
caused this
there?
tribal- No, what caused this tribal BS?
Yeah,
the
I
big
had that up
douchebag.
there.
Oh, I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
okay.
like that. It's funny to me because Ronald's point, she's up there with 3 cameras, right? Like,
Yes.
and look, she only nitpicks Nikons, and those 2 were just like, oh, this is great. Never like really points the finger at those brands, but just highlights Nikon. Well, this lens is this. I really like this, and it's like it's getting old. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? It is.
It
It's
is.
that's why we're talking about it. It ticks me off. But you know what? Like I was telling you the other day, Vahagan, or maybe it was even today. They're successful in YouTube by doing it. And maybe they don't even feel that way. They're just doing it because they get views. Just like Long Rider said.
Yeah.
They don't care how it affects the community. The bottom line is that the more drama, the more views they get.
Yeah, but did you notice how she was kind of tiptoeing when she was talking about Nikon? She was very careful this time.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like the Tony's video.
Well, the only way to beat them
Yeah.
is to vote with your subscription. But
You're right.
the problem is nobody will do that. So it's just one
Right.
subscriber leaving if you are subscribed. If 500,000 subscribers left Tony and Chelsea tomorrow, they'd be asking what's going on, what's wrong. But that's not going to happen. Okay.
Yeah, but half those subscribers are all dead accounts.
Maybe, but it doesn't matter. They got
Oh,
them.
are they really?
Are they really, Verhagen?
I'm thinking they are because, like, how you sign up for a Google account and then you subscribe to a
Yeah.
channel, right? And then you don't have that account anymore. You just unsubscribe. You don't watch their stuff anymore. I'm thinking maybe it's some of it is just dead accounts. I don't know.
And then you got to go by the views.
Hey, Ike, I submit not just that. They don't care about being a photographer. Most of them aren't. Most of them don't have a portfolio that you can go find. I will say that Tony and Chelsea do, only because they did a lot of stock photography and maybe they did weddings that they can't post. But, where's Jared Poland's portfolio? I know he can shoot, but Somebody,
No.
you were talking about the angry photographer, Ken Wheeler. He has no portfolio. You can't find a portfolio. That's why I keep saying when Ronald shows up, go check out this man's portfolio. It's fantastic.
You guys seen the Jason Lanier Ken Wheeler Kentucky meetup video?
A couple of years ago, that one, Vagan.
Yeah, where they made up at a horse farm.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah.
And
That
you
was
know,
a good one.
yeah, I got to look at that, Chuck. And you know, the truth of the matter is that even guys like myself out here working their tails off, we're out here busting our chops, for real. And I cannot afford to not know my craft, and not understand what I'm doing, you know, with lighting, with my settings, with my colors, with my dynamic range, with angles.
Yep.
That's why I respect guys like Photomiak. That's why I respect Verhagen, Mr. Ishii. I respect people I know that I've been able to check out. That's why I've told you, Chuck, go look at guys like Eric Bowles, who's over the Nikonians thing. He's shooting with a Z7 II, and he's killing bird photography. Go look at Jason Odell, and that's why I go to these people who are the real deal.
Go check out the Markar Ramesh.
Okay.
See,
I don't know. You know, there are people y'all are make me aware of. Marie Bersch, she's shooting with a Z7 II. Danny Batista. These are people killing it, man, in their worlds. They're killing it. I mean, their portfolios are sensational. Danny Batista is a bad dude. Marie Bersch out of Germany is a bad sister. These people are just knocking it out the park with the Nikons and with the Z7 IIs, the Z9s. And I cannot afford to not know my craft and know who's really making a difference in my craft.
Right.
I just can't afford not to. So what bothers me with YouTube is when I see these imbalanced, all of these, Mr. Ishii, Jeffrey, all of these imbalanced reviews that are highly biased, highly skewed.
Yeah.
You know, you called them out the other day, John, Mr. Ishii. You called them out on Chelsea, but they don't. But see, then all of a sudden they ignore you.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not going to have a ping pong match with those guys. I mean, that's just a waste of my time, right?
Yes, right.
You know, I've been doing this for all my life, shooting Nikon, and it gets me. Hey, look, I get front pages on the Wall Street Journal. You know, come on.
And then there's that. And then there's that.
Boston Globe. You see, here's the deal, Ron. You want to talk. They want to talk shit about me. Well, look at my portfolio, right?
Exactly.
Hey, how many of these guys have been on? L.A. Times, Tacoma Tribune, Miami Herald, Boston Globe, Washington Post. Bring it on. You think I don't? I can't shoot? You think those editors won't put my pictures on front page if they were lousy?
Yeah,
what did I shoot? Nikon.
Yeah, make sure you the man.
All the
Yes.
All I'm glad I picked this
Nikon
title tonight.
Hey guys, respect. Nothing but respect.
You know,
Chuck,
and they're telling me
Chuck,
I don't know what I'm doing.
Every show you do, Chuck, comes with a free 5-gallon gas can and a match.
Yeah. No, I know what you. I hear you, Mr. Ishii. I hear you.
And that's why, Chuck, I said to you, the toxicity is a distraction and a lie for true craftsmanship. That's why I said that. That's why I've told you in our private conversations, the toxicity is a lie. You got Ishii, you got Bose, you got me, Ike, you got all of these people who are the real deal, who are out there killing it, man. You got some Sony people who are amazing. Mike Colon is a phenomenal wedding photographer. I get it. I trained with Mike. Jerry Guiones, we all know Jerry Guiones is the deal. He's the schnizzle, as we say. Dude is the real deal. There's nothing fabricated, no lie, nothing false about that cat.
Yeah.
And others like him.
Joe McNally uses Nikon. Enough said.
So I agree, and this is what we put up with in YouTube, and it gets everybody aggravated, and then we get people that want to go and fire back.
I like that
videos, and you know, them were just like them. And that's more of the toxic environment, is just the constant wanting to fight them. I don't know how to fight them the right way. There is no right way. Like I said, the only real way would be to unsubscribe. If they lost 3/4 of their subscribers, maybe they would wake up and think, well, I need to change my shtick here. And I
No.
think it is a shtick. I think it's drama, and drama drives views, and that's what they do. They do it for that reason only. And I don't know if
Well,
they
of
care
course,
about
Chuck. I
the
mean,
fallout.
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about money.
Yes.
As soon as
yes.
as soon as you put the A versus B,
Yes.
it's a clickbait, right?
Yeah.
Or I switch from B to C.
And then throw some gas on the fire by continuing to harp on it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I love
Well,
what I love what Manny Ortiz said about switching. He's like, I'm switching to what? I'm not switching. I have them all here.
Yep.
Well,
exactly.
I
He has them all there.
trained with Mike Cologne. That's how I got my F2, my 200 F2. And like you, Verhagen, they're gonna have to pry it from my cold, dead fingers, because I'm sorry. There's, Mr. Issue, you didn't play with all of them before this, with all the lenses. There's very little in the world like that 200 F2 lens. There's very little.
Hey Ron, you know what happened to my art? You know what happened to my F2?
What happened, man?
I had to sell it to buy a wedding ring for my wife.
She's listening, John.
You better say it was well worth it. You better do it quick. You got like 5 seconds.
I plead the fifth, John. I plead the fifth. I haven't touched that, brother.
I remember that day clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And a 300-2.8.
Okay, then I was gonna say nothing's worth it, but okay, that's worth it.
I had that lens too. I had that lens I used to take that lens to Kenya and South Africa all the time, man. I used to, with a teleconverter.
Wow.
I used to take that lens all the time.
Yeah.
I know it.
Hey, but I got a question for you guys. So Ken Wheeler, right? So I've been doing a lot of watching lately, going back in time, and just watching some of his stuff and that whole beef they had with Jason Lanier. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
I was not aware of it.
I am. Yeah.
It's this big drama on YouTube. If you go back, there was a big thing with court orders and crazy stuff going on. If you YouTube Jason Lanier and Ken Wheeler, you're gonna get everything. Anyway, so my question to you guys is this: Ken Wheeler, what was his deal? Because he was a big Nikon guy, and he had all these Nikon followers. He was doing great. All of a sudden, he just one day wakes up and says Fuji. I'm just wondering, like, why? What was the benefit of doing that?
No answers from the crowd, I guess.
I don't know who he is.
Other than
I don't know who he is.
I think everybody just gave up.
Chuck, I was a great donator for him. I sent him a check for $15.
Need help?
No.
I'm just wondering what the benefit of doing that. Like, it's not like Fuji was paying him, or maybe.
I'm angry photographer. That's who he is.
No, they won't.
Yes.
They won't.
So what was the
Fuji
benefit of coming out and just like totally whacking all your followers like that? It's not like he's shooting.
He doesn't even talk about cameras anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. I'm talking about when he was talking about Fuji.
Yeah, I don't know, Vagan. It's just he just switched.
Yeah, that's crazy how they had all this drama with Jason Lanier. Man, Jason Lanier has a lot of videos on YouTube. Yeah. Like if you go back to his stuff, I like his work. Not a big fan of his personality, but I like his work. But
does he have anything recently, Vagan?
Jason?
Yeah.
He got kicked out of the Sony ambassadorship because of all this drama.
Oh, he did.
They kicked him out. Yeah,
he got kicked out.
Yeah, he got kicked out. Rotolite. This was like the soap opera of soap operas of YouTube. The guy
kick him out.
because of all the like sexual harassment, you know, like Ken Wheeler got
Oh
involved.
yeah. Oh, that's right.
Models, you
He
know,
had
like
those
complaining.
girls.
The girls. Man,
Yeah,
Ron's gonna
yeah.
be up all night tonight watching those videos. I'm telling you, man. This guy flies from LA, I think, or wherever he's from, all the way to Kentucky to meet with Ken. And they met up at a horse farm and they had a photo duel. You know, it was interesting.
Okay. I'll bite. It's not the phone here.
One thing I
Well, that must be
want to
Jason.
Jason Lanier. Yeah, it was just crazy.
One thing I appreciate about Chuck and Vahagan, one of the things I appreciate about you guys is the type of approach that you all are taking in bringing us all together. What I love that about what you guys are doing, how you guys are. It's more collaborative and fellowship than just tribalism.
So we got the echo going again.
It's more collaborative and fellowship.
Oh, it's Ron. Maybe you open up his YouTube.
So we got
okay.
the echo
Sorry.
going again.
Did it leave, guys?
Oh, it's Ron. Maybe you. No, it's not you. Rock and roll.
Hey guys, it doesn't matter. I got an emergency here. So I'm gonna have to shut it down anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Hey guys, it doesn't matter. I got an emergency here. So I'm gonna have to shut it down anyway. I hate to, but because we've got a great discussion going on, but I'm sorry. We'll be back Tuesday.
All right. Hey,
All right,
thank you,
no
Chuck.
problem.
Great discussion going
Thank you, Chuck.
And Vaughan, I'll see you soon.
Vagan, are we
Keep up
good?
your,
Are we good, Vagan?
All right.
No problem.
Okay.
Okay, take care, Chuck. Do whatever you got to do.
All right, Chuck. Take care of your business, Chuck.
All right,
Bye,
guys.
Ron.
Thank you very much.
Bye, you guys.
Please drop a like
Okay.
on the way out, folks, if you enjoyed it.
Yes.
We'll be back again Tuesday and the next Friday night. So anyway, check out all these gentlemen's websites and channels. Make sure you check it out and consider subscriptions to them as well. They're fantastic photographers and YouTubers and everything else. Mr. John Ishii, all the way from Malaysia, a hero.
All right.
Mr. Ron.
I'm gonna go pick
Man.
up my 100/400 now.
All right. Ron Pollard, check out his website. Jeffrey, check out his YouTube channel. And of course, the legend, the rock and roll photographer, Vahagan.
Rock and roll. Rock and roll.
All right, folks.
Rock and
Thank you all
roll.
very much for being in here. Really enjoyed it. Sorry, I got to go.
Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.